Today I'm going to teach you. Alright, so my do now is food is equal to sound. So try and talk with your partner and prove that food is equal to sound and sound is equal to food, and under which condition this statement is true. Try and talk. I'll give you 1 minute.
I have an idea. So
I'm going to rotate around the classroom, okay?
every time if you make a bell ring.
Don't talk loud. The other student cannot do.
Oh, okay.
So under what condition? Sit down.
This food is sound. What is he talking about? I don't. That makes no sense to you.
What about you? How are you guys doing? So you don't understand how food is equal to sound
like
and
saying,
sound equal to food? So that means you didn't study last
ice
night.
cream sound. Yeah. It's like weird, right?
Okay, so how are you guys
Almost
doing?
like kind of.
So you don't
like,
understand either, huh? So
like
that means you
combining the
didn't
senses.
study last
What are the
night.
5 senses? Taste, touch,
Hear and taste. He's
Uh,
combining the hear and the taste.
Okay, how are you guys doing?
I'm confused. I don't know what you mean.
So you don't understand why food and sound are the same?
Is it a typo?
It's not typo. Under some circumstances, food is equal to sound and sound is equal to food. And under what circumstances this statement is true? Did you do? Did you study the assignment last night? Yeah, but you didn't understand anything.
No.
All right, my assignment was on Ivan Pavlov and B.F. Skinner. Did you read Ivan Pavlov and B.F. Skinner at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how come you don't understand this concept? All right, then I'm gonna quiz you before I prove that food is equal to sound. So who is Ivan Pavlov? Who is Ivan Pavlov?
He's like educational psychologist.
Yeah, educational psychology.
Yesterday and the day before we talked about Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist, educational psychologist. He contributed in learning theory so much that we discussed about him before, and we also discussed about Piaget, right? He was born in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So Vygotsky and Piaget was born in
same year
1896. Good. Now today we are doing we are going to discuss about another Russian theorist, educational learning theorist, and his name is Ivan Pavlov. And he was born in I don't know what year he was born. 1849 to 19 what? 1936. 1849 to 1936. So he's the founding father of.
85 years.
He lived
87.
85.
He's the founding father of what? Father of classical conditioning. And we're gonna talk about B.F. Skinner.
Oh yeah, 87. That's what I said.
No.
B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner was born in what year?
Probably.
You did not study, right?
Oh no. Seems like 1896 as well, right?
He was 1896.
To
1896. Coincidentally, 1896 who was also born? Lev Vygotsky and Piaget.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Wow.
And what year did
All
that?
the great educational philosophers were born in the same year.
Yeah, it was
God
magic.
filled up the vacuum.
So founding father of what?
Operant psychology.
Founding father of
Operant conditioning.
Operant conditioning. Now, first we're going to talk about classical conditioning. I want you to sit professionally, okay? Otherwise, if you move too much, the people in the back, they won't see it.
Right.
First, I'm going to talk about the classical conditioning. I'm going to prove that what I'm going to prove.
Well,
I'm going to prove that the food is equal to sound. Okay, let's put. I'm going to bring. While you're sitting down here, I'm going to bring a cat. Maybe not cat. Well, let me draw a cat or dog. Maybe I'm not gonna draw it. I'm just gonna explain it. Okay. So, if you have a dog, so who is dog? Pavlov. Pavlov won the Nobel Prize in 1904. Pavlov, Nobel Prize 1904
He won the Nobel Prize.
for classical conditioning. So let's give a definition of classical conditioning. So classical conditioning is a learning process in which biological stimulus associated with
Behavior,
now
action,
associated to
and action.
natural stimulus.
Excuse me, you spelled natural?
Neutral
Stimulus.
stimulus. Now turn and talk.
Fire. Walking up.
Now turn and talk and tell me which one is for we have food stimulus and sound stimulus. Tell me which one is a biological stimulus and which one is a natural stimulus.
Neutral.
Which one is neutral stimulus?
So,
I don't know why I keep saying it's natural stimulus. But which one is a biological stimulus? Which one is a neutral stimulus?
So food is a biological.
Food is a biological stimulus. That's good. That's the
because
correct
in
answer.
biology,
Because you-
everything like food that energize themselves. and-
Food is a biological stimulus is because we all need food to survive. Do we need sound to survive?
No.
Alright, we do not need sound to survive.
No,
Alright.
not really.
So sound is what type of stimulus
You know what
probably?
you're saying, but you don't need sound.
Good. Sound is what type of stimulus?
Neutral.
Okay,
Because you
neutral.
don't really need it.
Now-
Biological stimulus
now-
you do need.
now-
You need to survive.
Now I said food is equal to sound, right?
Yeah.
It's like long time ago I said table is equal to human.
Oh.
So this is
With the physics class, I understood that, but I don't understand this.
okay.
now.
So step one. So
You want food or
we're gonna do a psychological proof. There is no math proof over here. There is a psychological proof. Let's make sound in front of what?
Food.
Let's make a sound in front of a dog.
Oh.
Make a sound.
sound in front of food? What
Let's
are
make it.
you think foods are living?
Let's make a sound.
Yeah.
Sound in front of what?
Dog.
In
The
front
dog
of
will react. The dog will
the
just
dog won't draw.
Drool.
The
The dog
dog
will just be slightly annoyed. It won't be a react.
Yeah.
dog won't what?
Bro.
Drool.
Why would you?
Salivate.
Is it
Number
food?
two. Number two. Let's
Let's ring the bell.
no, hold on. We are talking about sound. Let's make sound 5 times and then give dog food.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Let's make sound.
But the dog needs to get used to it.
Sound how many times?
5 times.
5 times. What type of sound? Like this.
Ring, ring.
Or a bell.
Maybe this is not a big enough sound. Maybe this sound.
Very big ringing out.
Okay.
I know.
Let's make this sound.
I know.
Every time you give dog food,
You make it.
you make
Sound.
how many times?
5.
You say, all right, here is the food, and here is this.
That hurts my ears.
Okay, right? So you're making what? Food and
Associated with
sound connection, right?
Yeah.
And association, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do food has anything to do with sound and sound has no. Now you are making connection, right?
Oh, you are connecting
Okay.
legs around.
Let's make sound 5 times before you. Before you.
But the dog needs to get like used to it, right?
Give food, yeah.
Yeah. You,
Food.
you do it like 500 times.
Alright, so
So
dog.
the dog knows that when you ring the bell 5 times,
Yeah.
then you get food.
That's what it is. So now what dog gonna do?
Imagine if the dog crawled up to the
Dog
ground
will?
5 times.
Dog will what?
Well, next time you ring it,
Draw. Number 3.
If you ring it without giving them food,
Now number 3. A few months later,
yeah.
you just make sound 5 times without
Bringing food.
bringing
that's
food.
what Pavlov did.
Oh,
I
he's
heard.
gonna get desperate.
That's what Pavlov did by accident. I heard. He must have been weirded out when he first saw
The dog will?
for no reason.
The dog will.
The dog will
Growl.
salivate.
Dog
I
will.
just imagining that.
Alright, now the dog will do all right.
Yeah.
Even you don't have food, because dog, imagine a connection a dog get used to, a connection between 5 sound and food. So did you make a connection between food and sound?
Yeah.
Food is equal to sound,
That's
but
what the dog thinks.
that's died. So we did not pay attention to a whole lot of things. So
I'm just paying.
just a few seconds. We have a technical difficulties.
If you make a sound and then bring a food
We have technical difficulties, so we're gonna wait a few seconds.
and
So I'm gonna rotate around and help other student. Okay?
Yeah. So let me just work on the assignment.
Make sure you help the other student. Help each other.
Yeah.
Because remember what Pavlov said, not Pavlov, Vygotsky.
Okay, I think
The
we're
learning
back.
takes place through a conversation in a group collaboration.
Yes.
Alright, now
if
why food equal to sound is so did you prove it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won the Nobel Prize for this theory.
That's it.
Yeah, for this association. We call it classical conditioning. What conditioning we call it?
Classical.
And classical conditioning is a learning process. Okay? A dog learns it. A dog learns what? There is an association between sound and food. So what is classical conditioning? That's got a problem again.
I want
Keep
to
happening,
ask
right?
something. I want to ask something.
We have technical difficulties.
I wanted to ask something.
Yeah.
So, if you inserted a quarter into the vending machine, and each time you inserted a quarter in, it gave you a chocolate bar, and then it malfunctioned, so it didn't give you a chocolate bar, you would still drool for the chocolate bar anyway.
That's right.
Even though it's not giving you the
That's
chocolate
right.
bar.
That's true.
Because it's malfunctioned.
That's so true. Okay, now why don't we sit down so that people who
you
sit
would
in the
be
back,
surprised.
yeah, people who sit in the back still can sit. Now the student in the back, can you please tell me what is the classical conditioning?
Oh, me?
Yeah, sure.
So actually I know what it is. So
What is classical conditioning?
it's a conditioning where you
It's a learning process.
it's a learning process
Yeah,
that connect neutral stimulus to biological stimulus.
that's right.
Yeah.
And did you make connection?
Yes.
All right. This is a biological stimulus and this is a
Neutral.
neutral stimulus. So
Did
this
you
is
were
called.
listening to my idea?
I did, and your idea is good idea. Why don't you tell me in your own way what is classical conditioning?
Classical conditioning is really being connecting a neutral usual reward, a usual positive stimulus to a neutral
I
neutral
know.
stimulus that usually reminds them that they would get this positive stimulus.
Common
So
misconception.
if you
knew
would
it.
give the neutral stimulus without giving the positive stimulus.
Okay, we are not talking about positive stimulus and negative stimulus. That's the other domain. That's the domain
Of
of
Levinsky.
of
Piaget.
Skinner. No,
Skinner.
Skinner.
That's what I
If you
meant.
cannot say Skinner, you should not be in the psychology class.
Yeah,
Say-
you shouldn't even be in a Manhattan Institute of Technology in
Say-
the first place.
Say Skinner,
Scanner.
not scanner.
no.
We are not printing anything.
What?
All right, try to learn Skinner, and I'll be right back.
Scanner.
Skinner.
Scanner.
S-C-
Scanner.
Skinner.
Listen to me as I say it slowly.
Skinner.
Okay.
Skinner.
All
You
right.
won't stop saying scanner, Professor. You won't stop saying scanner.
Okay,
You're
now.
a kindergartner in this MIT.
Now tell me, what is the name of the guy? You.
We have scanner.
Scan? No, not a scanner. It's Skinner.
Stop saying
Okay,
it.
so now what we're gonna do? We're gonna try to learn operant conditioning. Okay. So operant conditioning is also a learning process in which the behavior can be modified through reinforcement or punishment. All right. Desired outcome can be accomplished through punishment or reinforcement. So what is the operant conditioning?
Desired
Desired behavior can be achieved through punishment or reinforcement. Does that
Which
make
is
sense?
positive or negative?
Well, it has a many brands, which I will use a cat. I'll put a cat on the board, and then I'll explain it to you.
You mean
So
that's
now,
a rat? you're
that's right.
holding.
Now we understand the difference between classical conditioning
and
and operant conditioning. Operant conditioning has nothing to do with reinforcement. Has nothing to do with. It's just classical conditioning making association. So who took it one step further? That association.
Pavlov.
Pavlov?
BF Skinner.
We come
Is
back.
Skinner. Pavlov is the classical guy.
Don't say
Oh.
scanner anymore.
Okay.
And you won't say
All right.
scanner.
Now let's do it. So.
What is that we're holding? Like,
BF scanner.
oh,
No, I'm holding a rat in the box.
a rat in a cage, more like.
Okay, sure, not a problem. So what is the operant conditioning? I need a better marker. I have it. Operant conditioning.
Oh, that's a cat.
What is operant conditioning? Operant, guys, I want you to pay attention to the class. Operant conditioning is what?
You
Operant
achieve
is a-
desired behavior
Is a
Achieving
learning-
desired behavior
via
using.
punishment.
Is a learning process.
Oh God, I didn't think.
It's a learning process in which
Desired behavior
desired outcome behavior,
is achieved via punishment or
desired behavior
reinforcement.
is accomplished by
Say it with me. E-F.
by reinforcement.
Skinner.
I don't know.
Reinforcement. Okay, attention. Reinforcement.
Reinforcement, either positive or negative. Punishment. or-
Reinforcement or
Or punishment.
punishment. All right. So this is the teachers or parents directly apply that. Okay. The teacher use the operant conditioning to get the desired behavior from what?
Student.
The student. Now the NYPD is using operant conditioning to
Okay.
get the desired behavior from the citizen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is this the reinforcement they are using, or is this the punishment they are using? They probably use both. Okay. And how they use both, that's what I'm gonna explain. Okay. Now, before I do that, I'm gonna put my cat over here. I'm right here. Okay. Now, operant conditioning. I'm gonna ask you. Operant. What is it? Operant.
Mm-hmm.
operant. We're going to divide it in two parts. One is reinforcement. One is punishment. Punishment. The reinforcement, for example, I have this cat, right? I have this cat inside the box, right?
Right.
And by accident, I'm not gonna give any food to I'm not gonna making any sound. I'm not gonna bring any food. I want the cat figure it out. I want the cat work hard. Does that make sense? I want the cat
To work hard.
to do what it has to do in order to get
Survive.
food. So it
Wait,
hold
I
on.
have a question.
Yeah.
So in the picture, it shows a contraption of a kitty pulling a lever down to make the door in the cage go up. Does
So,
that have
it's like
anything to do? Is it like a reinforcement for pushing down
It's
the
like a
lever?
Goldberg machine, right?
Yeah.
Like one of those outward machines.
Yeah. So this is positive. This is positive. This is negative. And that one has positive and negative as well.
Oh, so just because it's punishment doesn't mean it's always negative.
Okay, now we're gonna get to understand it. So add appetitive stimulus following correct behavior. Adding
Positive.
good.
Adding positive stimulus. And
Adding good what? Stimulus.
can I guess what the negative reinforcement
Add.
means?
Hold on. Add
After
good stimulus.
After good behavior.
Following a good behavior. Following a correct.
Behavior.
Following a correct behavior.
Can I guess what the negative stimulus
Now tell me example.
So, do you know an example?
Give me an example of this.
Candy for playing a vending machine?
No.
Oh,
Alright, so
I have one.
yeah, sure.
You give it food if you work hard.
Oh no. So it's working around. All of a sudden, one day, it just push this what thing?
Blue pen.
It's
Blue
curious.
pad, and then food comes out of the
Box.
box.
Well, that's what
Hold on.
we assume.
Now now it knows that what is the source to get the
Food.
food. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, so add good stimulus following a correct behavior. The correct behavior is to pushing the blue fat and getting the food. So now,
In our case, it
now-
could be any positive
now
stimulus
what-
for standing
now-
on the blue path.
okay, now what the cat will do?
Do it over and over.
Yeah, the cat knows that it will.
Cat
get
will
its
do
food
all
soon.
day long, right?
Yeah.
Making you almost driving you almost crazy. Now you set a lunch time. You set a lunch time from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
So the lever won't work
So-
until from 12 to
So
1.
I'm gonna write remove good stimulus following
Bad behavior. So,
following wrong behavior. Remove food. Not remove food. What is it? Remove
But that's a
you have to
punishment.
remove the noxious stimulus.
noxious stimulus following
correct behavior.
correct behavior. Remove noxious means
Yeah,
remove
noxious. We remove negative stimulus.
Obnoxious.
negative stimulus.
That's what I'm
Stimulus.
saying.
Remove negative stimulus after correct
Behavior.
correct behavior. So now let's help you understand. All right. So what is the lunch time? 1 p.m. to
Wait, let's say this
12
example.
p.m. to 1 p.m.
Wait,
Hold on.
let's say the example shown was actually true. So negative stimulus after correct behavior. In the example, it shows if the cat pushes the lever, the mechanics outside the cage will lead to the door slightly open. So it removes the feeling of being trapped after stepping on the lever and working hard. It removes the negative stimulus of being trapped in the cage after correct behavior, stepping on
Good.
the blue path.
So according to you, what is not good behavior? Pushing the lever
Outside
before
of lunch.
before lunch time.
Yeah.
Okay? So before
Being
lunch time.
impatient.
Or after lunchtime.
or after lunchtime. Before lunchtime,
Being impatient or
Be-
being selfish?
being impatient, or you are trying to see whether the cat can learn behavior. Does that make sense? So you give cat some electric shock.
Oh.
For example, 11 p.m. if cat push the lever, what do?
Shocking.
Shock it. So
Yeah,
that
cat.
the cat will eventually become a time conscious, right? It's not gonna do it 11 o'clock. It's not gonna do it 11:30. It's not gonna do 11:59. It's gonna push exactly what time?
12.
12. If it does at 12, then you remove what? Negative stimulus. Then come tomorrow, is exactly gonna do 12 and waiting for 12. It's gonna just wait. It's not gonna push the lever.
It's just gonna walk around.
It's
wait.
gonna just wait. I know if you are a cat, it's very difficult to wait for food.
Yeah.
But you just don't. The cat, even cat doesn't want to get electrocuted, right? So you patiently wait until the good time. What is the good time?
12.
12. At 12, it pushes the lever
Mm-hmm.
and you remove the what?
The
You don't
electrocuted.
electrocute it. The cat get
Oh.
food. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So can we apply that for a student?
Yeah.
So a student, some student 40 minutes in the classroom is just too long. Oh my god, I have to be 40 minutes over here? No, I'm gonna just take out my popcorn and eat the popcorn in the middle of the class. So what the teacher should do? Teacher should do
Shock.
reinforcement. Reinforcement. What does that
So
mean?
maybe
But eating
maybe-
popcorn isn't correct behavior.
It's
No,
not
for-
correct
for
behavior.
example,
So
It's
teacher
incorrect
can
behavior. So
teacher
it
can-
would be a neutral or negative
for
statement.
that-
that takes us there. Okay, that takes us over there. Okay.
Is it the neutral or negative side?
Yeah. So this one has two actually. This one has two. One is negative. Other one is what?
well
Behavior.
avoid noxious stimulus.
Behavior avoid.
Noxious stimulus.
Behavior avoid.
What does noxious mean?
Negative. Negative stimulus. Stimulus. The cat behavior eventually avoid noxious behavior, right?
Right.
If you are a cat and wait until 12 and don't push the lever,
Yeah.
do you get electrocuted?
No.
So the cat eventually learn to avoid what?
Negative.
Being electrocuted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a student eventually will learn or forced to learn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there is now curfew. Nobody gonna go to the curfew to loot the stores, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so people eventually learn how to behave. Okay, so they are actually right now
After all
using,
these riots go
yeah,
down,
NYPD probably using this. Who knows?
Wow.
Apparent
You
So
conditioning.
even after 100
you
years.
mean
Useful.
the punishment?
The punishment. So what is punishment? Avoid what?
Well, the punishment avoid or add noxious
Add,
The punishment
add
is
noxious stimuli
add negative stimuli.
following
the
the
punishment
behavior.
for the
Following
police officers is
the
throwing
behavior.
tear gas cartridges
Following the
at
behavior.
people.
So now I told you everything. Now tell me, explain me or give me an example using the cat. Add negative stimuli following the behavior.
So for-
Under what condition you add negative stimuli?
if we
If the cat pushes it at 11:30,
Or-
then the cat will be
or at
electrocuted
1:30 or
following-
1:30
Okay.
before or after.
So before 12 is bad and after 1 is
Bad.
I know if you're a cat, it's too difficult for you, right?
Yeah.
All you need, because you live to eat, right? If that's the scenario, waiting for food is difficult, but at the same time, you don't want to be
The
electrocuted,
real
right?
question is, how does this cat get water?
What?
The real question
Cats
is,
don't
how?
need water to live.
Wait.
Well, water is also food. I mean,
Are you going to dispense glasses of water out?
sure, probably they drink water sometime a day. Okay, punishment.
Oh.
So, what is the other punishment you tell
So
me?
you can remove the appetitive stimulus.
Remove good food. Remove good stimuli. Remove good stimuli what?
So remove the appetitive stimuli.
Yeah. So under what condition you remove the good food?
Wait, let's
Do
say,
you give him food?
wait,
if-
wait, I want to say an example.
Okay.
So, if the cat presses on the lever once during lunchtime, with one foot, then it'll give the food. But say the owner doesn't want the cat to put 2 feet on the lever. Then when the cat put 1 foot on the lever, then 2 foot on the lever, say the food gets launched back out.
Yeah, that's good.
So
But-
it removes
punishment.
That's
good
right.
stimuli.
So,
Right.
however, before 12 p.m., the cat doesn't get the food
Uh-huh.
and it
No,
also
why
get the
do you-
punishment.
Oh.
Both.
So, both.
Both.
No,
Before
it
12
doesn't remove anything. It adds the electric
No,
shock.
it remove the
Yeah.
food.
You can remove good and add bad.
You can remove good and add bad. For example, if you're a teacher and
Uh-huh.
a student doesn't listen, doesn't take note, and eat popcorn, do you give a student A for class participation,
No.
No.
or do you report it to the principal?
That's what
So
you
how
should
many bad students are getting? Students are getting a bad grade, and
Yeah.
students are getting a negative reinforcement, a negative punishment,
do.
right?
Right.
By being reported to the
Principal.
principal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you are listening, taking note, you get good grade for participation, and also probably teacher will say some good thing about you.
Mm.
All right. So tell me the summary. You tell me the summary of classical conditioning, and you tell me the summary of operant conditioning. You're gonna make the class presentation starting over here. Stand up over here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
I'll
assistant.
do
I'll do that.
classical conditioning and
Yes.
I'll do operant
So
conditioning.
classical condition says the following. So Ivan Pavlov was born in the same year as
Many
Piaget.
others.
That's not true.
Oh, okay.
That was B.F. Skinner. Ivan Pavlov was born 1849. Thank you.
He was born
Fatal
49,
mistake.
but he did win the Nobel Prize for his theory of classical conditioning, which what it does is it connects the neutral behavior
No,
with
neutral
the
stimulus.
stimuli with the biological stimuli. For example, biological stimuli is food because you need it to survive. Neutral stimuli is sound. It doesn't really have any effect on you.
Yeah.
It's now. So you connect them via conditioning, and
The sound now turns to food.
Mm.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna present.
He won the Nobel Prize in 1904.
That's correct.
Okay, I know how to operate.
Operant conditioning. Looking at the other student in the classroom.
Okay, so operant conditioning, it can be split into
What is
discovered
operant?
by
What is operant conditioning, by the way?
okay, it was split it was discovered by B.F. Skinner. It was
Is there one-
invented
Yes,
by B.F. Skinner, and I believe
he was born in 1896,
yeah,
but that's not important.
1896.
But what is operant conditioning? That's what is important.
Operant conditioning, it can be split into positive.
No, that's not what. What is operant conditioning? It's a learning process.
It's a learning process by which
Desired outcome can be accomplished through
through positive or negative stimuli.
or reinforcement or
Punish.
punishment. Okay.
It can be split into the reinforcement and punishment. The reinforcement can be positive or negative. Positive is when you add a good stimuli for correct behavior.
Wow.
And negative is when you remove a bad stimuli for good behavior.
Oh,
Mm.
so they're like both good in a way.
Yeah. And then the
Yeah.
and then the punishments are positive and negative as well. Punishment and then positive punishment add a bad stimuli for the bad behavior, and the negative punishments they remove good stimuli for bad behavior.
Oh, so can I understand it better after you explain? So-
Thank you for presenting. Now I will take any questions you have, and this is called Q&A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Q&A.
So,
Questions and answers.
so is it like this? reinforcement is good. So it add the good and remove the bad. Punishment
right.
is only bad. It add the bad and take away the good.
Okay, good. So now if you ever become a professor or a teacher, which one you gonna use? You gonna use reinforcement or punishment?
It depends on the situation.
Sit nicely. This is a professional classroom.
It depends on the situation.
You always try to use the reinforcement, and your goal is to try to use the reinforcement. You try not to use the punishment, okay? All
Or
right.
you just a neutral stimulus if you can.
That's right. So your main goal, you are successful teacher or parent if you can
Giving
use
nothing for the
reinforcement and change the behavior.
student. Giving nothing to the student, not removing or adding anything. So they don't fall behind, but rather stay the same and want to climb up to the reinforcements.
Last question before I dismiss the class.
Did B.F. Skinner win the Nobel Prize?
He
for his
did
theory?
not win the Nobel Prize, unfortunately, because he was the most cited psychologist of 20th century. But he did not win the Nobel Prize. Sad.
The inventor of classical conditioning won the Nobel Prize,
Yes,
but not operant conditioning.
that's right.
That's strange.
Any other question?
No.
I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe to Bari Science Lab to fall in love with math and science, especially programming.